This podcast is not a substitute for a relationship with a mental health professional.
Welcome, everybody, back again to the Mental Health is a Lifestyle podcast show with your girl, Andrea Wise Brown, and my brother,
Stephen James Dixon. That's a good rock.
Hey, guys, and we are continuing this series of Mental Health is a Lifestyle. This is a safe space for men to heal. This right here is a safe space for men to heal. All right, y'all. So, wait, hold on. Do my work. Please click this little bell up here so you can subscribe to the podcast. I would love for you to share the podcast and put some comments down. Put some comments down so that we know what you're thinking. If there's some questions that you want us to answer, comment, because we want to know that you are here with us. Okay? This is a safe space. And then I always have to do this disclaimer, honey. This is a safe space for men to heal. So in order for men to heal, women, allow men to have this space. If your man shares this with you, or if you're watching this with him, do me a favor. Keep your mouth closed. I want you to keep your mouth closed and allow him to be in this and to do his own work. You know, if he chooses, if he says to you, babe, I want to talk to you, then you let him talk. But other than that, keep your mouth closed, because this is not about you, okay? We love you, but that's another show. This is for men, okay? All right. And so today, I guess we should recap. In case no one, we have new people in the room.
Yeah, somebody shared it with them.
Okay. Somebody shared it with them, right? And then they need to know what's going on. Okay, so here I go. I'm going to start off with this. I'm going to introduce. So I am a psychotherapist, practicing psychotherapist, and a podcaster. And Stephen is.
Before we get to me, you got to break down what that is. What is a psychotherapist? People don't know what that is.
Well, okay. So this is a quick, short way for me to. I'm a licensed clinical therapist. And I say, well, the reason why it's a psychotherapist is because I'm not a massage therapist, right? There are other different types of therapists. I'm sorry. So I help you to work on your psyche, breaking down cognitive barriers that you may have, so that you unpacking, so that you live the life that you desire. So that's exactly what I do. I help people overcome barriers, face challenges, so that they can live the lives that they desire. Yeah. And break cycles. I help you break your cycles. But anywho, that's what I do. And then this is Stephen. So Stephen is, I want to give him a proper introduction. So it is Stephen James Dixon.
Got to say all three names.
That's right. I got it. Just like I like Andrea Wise Brown.
There you go.
I get it. That's right. And Stephen James Dixon is a husband, a father, a relationship expert, and author of the book, Men Don't Heal, We Hoe, a book about the emotional instability of men. But he also has another book, and I believe the name is Love Capacity.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and it's Love Capacity. Stephen has been featured live on television and radio across the country, as far away as Europe and Africa. So this is Stephen. And Stephen, yay! And Stephen is partnering with me in doing this series for men and creating this safe space so we can talk about everything. So the first week we talked about loving. I'm hungry for love, which starts with self-acceptance. That's how you create love for yourself and for others. And then the week after, the second week, we talked about I'm hungry for acceptance. I'm hungry for acceptance. Some people might say what that is I'm hungry for unconditional love, when really the word is acceptance. And what we concluded was, and we want you to go back and watch these each show, please catch up with us. But what we concluded was once you gain acceptance or do the work to accept yourself, your whole self, not imperfectly perfect, perfectly imperfect, because none of us are perfect. We are perfectly imperfect. So once you accept all of that and you own your own stuff and then make the decision to move forward into building the life that you desire, that's where you don't have to be hungry for self-acceptance because you've given it to yourself and we've given you the tools. So we would love for you to go back and watch that. You also have an assignment, and this is, I'm telling you all this stuff, I'm recapping. So if you didn't watch the first two, I want you to go back and watch them. But then that doesn't mean you can't jump in now, because you can jump in right now, because this is the third episode. But then you had an assignment that Stephen gave you guys on the first episode about love. He said, what was the assignment?
I challenged my brothers to hug 3 men and tell them that you love them. Not random men. These your partners. These your friends, lifelong friends, whatever, people that you trust. Tell them that you love them, hug them, and let's just create those spaces where we can communicate and trust each other. So that's what the challenge is about.
Oh, that's so good, because we can't live in this life alone, right?
No.
And we need our support system. Yeah, we don't want to feel, your vulnerability that society has put upon you, men, the lack of vulnerability, because you're afraid to be vulnerable. That's what's stopping you from growing and being your full self. But as Stephen would suggest, that if you can create your own safety, you can create your own space for communication when you connect to your brothers with love, a safe space.
Yes.
Okay.
I always just think about whenever you're talking, I'm still stuck on when you said in a podcast before about how 3.9 times men are susceptible to committing suicide over women, and just reminding men that we have to learn to share our emotions. We're not, don't think you being a punk or being soft, being some sissy or whatever. We're human beings, and we have to learn these things. We're hoping to create this series and this environment and this platform to have men feel comfortable, and having men really teaching men how to dig deep in how they're feeling. Brother, why are you angry?
Ooh.
Why are you hurting? What do you need? How can we help? And really, more importantly, that we didn't get to say last week was quite oftentimes there is a brother there that we could talk to, but we don't know how to share or how to identify that brother. The hope is that everyone has at least one friend. If you don't, man, we got to figure that out. Reach out to Andrea, set up a time period, reach out to me, whatever, create that community. But all of us should have 1 to 3 people that we can share things with if we're going through something tough. If we know when we're going through something tough, I think. You think so?
Well, yeah. Personally, we know when we're going through something tough, but this is something that you and I have discussed before. I think this is the challenge for men a lot of times, that some of these men who are watching this are the strongest person in their group, are the strongest one in their friend group. So how do I reach out to, I don't know, Raheem or Harry if I know the decisions that he makes is way worse than mine? So me reaching out to him, like, what is that? Or, something else that you said is a little boys, when sometimes if you would fall, there was never, society doesn't really support a safe space. So usually what boys would do who watched it would be laugh at you.
Right.
So that's something that men hold on to, right? So I'm not going to be vulnerable and share because I don't want to be laughed at. And then if I look in my circle and I see that they look like men, but they act like little boys, I don't want to be laughed at.
Right.
So how am I going to go to them to laugh at them? How am I going to go to them or feel safe enough to go to them without them believing that they're going to laugh at me?
You know what? I don't think we made this point clear either. So with the challenge, the point of the hug and telling that brother that you love him is that opens the door to that relationship being different going forward. See, if we don't do that, if we don't become vulnerable and let other men know that there's more to me, right? We don't just have to talk about the basketball game or the football game or the Super Bowl or money or women all the time. You know, like when I hug a brother, and I've been doing this for a couple of years now. Every time I've reached out to a man and hugged them, told them I love them, just as my black brother, just as my brother, my neighbor, whatever, I've always felt from that moment forward that if I needed to call that brother and say, hey, I got this, what's going on, this is what I need, this is what I was thinking, that they're open to that. So the hug is about opening that door to having that safe space so you can talk. So be man enough, right? Be man enough to be humble and say, I need help. I need support. I need encouragement. I need acceptance. I need someone to believe in me. I don't understand why I'm doing this. A lot of problems are common between men, but we don't always talk about them.
That's right. Oh, that's so good. That's good. But then that brings me to, and I think that's, well, I know why. That's why the work that we do is so important, because I hear what you're saying, and that is true, that most men are kind of feeling the same thing, right? Where you learn through society that this is not a safe space. It is not masculine to share your feelings. Right. And as I told you before, that brings about this depression. It's a depression that a lot of men live with because they don't feel as if that they can use their voices and that they can express their feelings, because that's what society has taught them. But this is the thing. If I feel like I'm a man, going back to this point, right? And I have these feelings and there's someone around me who I would like to share it with. If I'm a man of high intelligence, if I don't feel like the people in my friend group can help me, then how do I share it? How do I get that off my chest? And that's why I'm saying to you, I do believe that you should share with your friends. But if you know that, that the counsel that you may be getting may not be healthy counseling, and I'm talking about through friends, right? Then this is why roles like yours as a relationship expert, a coach, and roles like mine is really, really important, because, we have a studied approach. So you can come to us and say whatever it is and process your thoughts and process your feelings. And then maybe create. You'll be the one, if you're the smartest one in your group, you'll be the one to create an elevated, an emotionally elevated, little kind of community. A community. There you go, like a community, so that that it is normal to share feelings and to process and to go find the answers together.
And if you think that you're one of those brothers that doesn't really have a group that you feel that you can talk to, you'd be surprised if you just open the door who can add value, in a number of different ways. Maybe it's not always that you get great positive information from one person, but maybe you learn what not to do, how not to handle an issue. If you got something to share, if you've done the work to identify that you need to share, finding someone to share with is the easier part, actually. Maybe you don't know that or don't understand that, but finding someone to share, that is intentional. Gotcha. That is, I'm going to share with my friends. I don't have friends I want to share with. I'm going to call Andrea. I don't have Andrea. I don't want to go to a person that I'm gonna call Steven. I don't know Steven. So then I'm gonna go to the church.
That's so good.
It's always someone that's willing to listen. But you gotta be intentional and be direct and saying, I got something I need to share.
Because what physics said, thank you for saying that, because what physics says is what you desire desires you. What you desire desires you. Right? It's the law of attraction. So whatever I'm looking for, wherever I put my energy is what comes back to me. It is the truth. What I'm going to prove to you, you guys out there who like science, so this doesn't sound woo-woo, but Newton's law, which is physics, right, says for every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. So what I'm saying is, if my action is to go find someone who has a little more knowledge or find a space that's going to be beneficial to me, if I'm looking for that, that's what's going to come back to me. And that's just the truth.
Yep.
So I'm glad you said that. So it may not be, reach out to your friend group, but even if it's not there, they out there, the person or the people or the support group or what is out there.
Right. And so, you know, what you about to do? Because I'll jump right in.
Okay.
You want to jump right in, or you want to do something?
I want you to lose your point. Can I just say my statistics? But if you want to know, you got a point, hit it.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I just want to tell you, men, this is why this is so important for you to be here. This is a safe space for you to heal. I'm just going to hit you with some statistics. 71% of high school dropouts are fatherless. 90% of all homeless and runaway children are fatherless. 18.3 million children in the United States live in a fatherless home. And that's 1 out of every 4 children in the United States. 51% of marriages fail. And men died, and this statistics was brought about, this research was brought about in 2021, but men died by suicide 3.9 times more than women. I just wanted to bring that back because you mentioned that in the beginning.
Yeah.
So,
and really, one point off of that too is what you're really saying, and all of it is the importance of men.
That's right. We need you.
Yes.
We need you.
Yes.
We need you. When you have a strong man, an emotionally stable man, I'm not talking about strong with your muscles physically. That's right. An emotionally stable man. Do you know you will raise some emotionally stable children, independent children, and that's what we need to create in our world, because after us they go on, they create the world. Do you know when you have an emotionally stable man, you have an emotionally stable family system, you have emotionally stable relationships with you and your woman, your marriages are stable. You got me? So we need you have emotionally stable friendships when you have an emotionally stable man. So we are here with no judgment, no criticism. I'm telling you, we want to hold your hands through this because we want you to grow, because we need you. You know, it's so many times, too many times. I shouldn't even say too many times. I guess too many times women complain to me. So that's what I'm saying. But I shouldn't judge. That's a judgment to say too many times. So I will just say a lot of times women will come to me because they really, really yearn and they want men to lead.
Ooh, that's a whole nother pod. That's a whole nother series.
Oh my gosh, we can do that. Like they want, so I won't even go down the street. I'll just say that they want men to lead. You know,
we're gonna change one of the series today.
Okay, we can.
I love talk about leadership.
Okay, and I often have to explain to them that they don't have all the tools to lead, so they're leading in the best way that they know how.
Right.
So they don't have all of the tools to lead. But here, we're going to give you the tools.
But knowing, oh, see, you're going to take me a whole nother.
Well, I mean, when you want to do that, well, let's do leadership today. You want to do, we haven't announced, did we announce what we didn't announce anything.
We announced last week for the people that we were going to talk about some. We can, just a little bit.
Okay.
With leadership, first of all, my principle on relationships and marriages is that all marriages are successful or they fail based on the leadership of the man.
Ooh.
All marriages are either successful or they fail based on the leadership of the man.
This is what we about to do today. We about to just do this.
And we can expound on that to say a marriage is a unit.
Yes.
A company needs leadership. A team needs leadership. And of course, when I expand it like that, we're not talking about men doing all that, right? There's leadership that is needed for every team, organization, company, marriage, and in all the other examples of units and organizations, a leader is clearly responsible. There's someone at the head that has the answer.
Oh, that's good.
So when you have a company, you have a CEO that goes in front of the board and says, this is why we're not making money. They have to be responsible to the board, to the stockholders.
That's good.
When you have a team, you have a coach who's responsible to the ownership.
Oh, that's so good.
That's to say why we're not winning.
That's right.
We're not winning because of A, B, and C. And this is what I'm going to do to make sure we win next year. It is unacceptable to just lose every year. You'll get fired.
That's good.
Right? So in marriage, we need leadership.
Yeah.
And we need someone that steps up to the plate and says, hey, yes, I'm the leader. The buck stops with me. If the marriage doesn't work, it is my fault. It is my responsibility. Now, that doesn't mean that woman doesn't cause problems in marriage, right?
That's right. That's right.
It just means that all problems that occur, someone is really working to find the compromise, to find a compromise, right? It's not always available or easy or just in thin air and you can just pull it down. Oh, there's the compromise. You have to work at it sometimes. And so you sit down and you brainstorm and you figure out what everyone needs, what you need, what she needs, and you take the responsibility to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to apologize first. I'm going to exhibit leadership by being first to apologize. I'm going to exhibit leadership by being the first to say, you know what? I'm going to compromise. I'm going to exhibit leadership by being the first to say, I'm going to sacrifice. I'm going to exhibit leadership by saying, I'm the first that's going to learn something more about you. I'm going to exhibit leadership by saying, okay, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to listen. And you tell me what you need. Let me just try to understand. You exhibit leadership by setting up a safe space to say to your partner, your wife, hey, you just talk. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going and I'm going to let you be free to share and not try to interrupt you or direct you.
Okay, let me come in here because what I'm hearing some brothers say that's out there listening is, what if you've done that and you've done it over and over again and now you tired? What if you tired of being the one in the relationship? What they say, Michelle Obama say, take the high road, because that's what you're speaking about, right? So I'm a leader, but what about when I get burnt out? What about when I get tired of being the one to stand up in front and to ask you first what's wrong with you? Or you said the word sacrifice. Lord have mercy, because that's a whole nother thing. But what if you tired of doing that? What do you have anything that you could give to my brothers who you say should lead, right, in relationships, but they get tired because maybe they feel like the people who they're leading aren't really helping, aren't pulling their part?
Right. I love that question. And I crush it very simply because I say to men, when you get tired of leading, just tell your woman she could lead. See what happens. Don't no man won't do that. If you go home and tell your woman, hey, you know what? I'm not leading this week. This week we doing whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do, we going to do it. You the leader. She would be like, yes. Okay. And she going to run you ragged all week. And you trust and believe. You tell a woman that she's a leader, she got a list already ready. You don't want to do that. There can never be a void of leadership. There are no days off from being a leader, right? There are no days off. You don't have to, there's no ability to get tired of being a leader or taking on the responsibility of leadership. So what you're really saying when you're saying is I'm tired is that you've got to find a better way to lead. You got to find what is needed. Your leadership style, your approach is not working. So you screaming and yelling and you need to be talking. Or you talking and you're not listening. You got to figure out what is missing in the leadership vacuum. There's something missing. Don't think that you're perfect in your leadership style. Okay. Maybe the way that you lead doesn't work. For example, my wife is very much aggressive. She's from Houston. Okay. I don't know, y'all. Some people, all I got to do is say she's from Houston. and that's enough.
Okay. From Houston. All right. I'm from the East Coast. Right. So I don't know what that, I don't get it, but I'm listening. That's a whole other podcast. Okay.
She from Houston.
Okay.
And I cannot scream and yell at that woman. Like she wants me to scream and yell. She would love it. Smoke. She wants all that smoke. My wife is the type that if I yell, she's going to cuss.
Okay.
If I cuss, she gonna get a knife.
Okay.
If I get a knife, she gonna get a gun.
Oh, come
if
on.
I get a gun, she gonna get a tank.
Ooh.
If I get a tank, she gonna get a nuclear. She always ready to take it to another
that
level.
House be popping.
Right, and so I can't do it.
Okay.
I cannot lead. And woman, shut up and sit down. That ain't gonna work. She welcomes all that energy.
Oh.
My wife is one of those. She is like cool and calm and in her place and all that is long. But if you talk to, she up quick. She go from 0 to 10.
Okay.
Real fast.
Real quick. Okay.
Real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And so I cannot lead her in that way. So like how you hear this big voice that I have, I don't approach my wife with this voice.
I got you.
My voice that I carry with me in coaching and training to neighbors, to friends in the grocery store when I'm yelling at people. I don't approach my wife with that.
Oh, that's so good. You know, good leaders, what makes good leaders is because they know how to motivate each and every one of the people who they're leading. Like they speak their language.
Yes.
So good leaders don't just lead from their own perspective. When we talk about the glasses, from what they believe it should be. No. You are a great leader when you know who it is that you know who your team players are, and you take care of each and every person individually on that team. And that's what makes and creates a successful team, and that therefore makes a great leader. Oh, that's good.
Yes, leadership. Like if you're a great leader, to be great, you have to take responsibility for how the message is received.
Okay.
Now some people can't handle that. Like yes, not just delivered, received.
Okay.
Because sometimes people can't receive it how you intended them to receive it.
Okay,
can I come in? It. Yeah.
Okay, no. Oh, okay, you was getting ready to go there.
Yeah.
So maybe this will help. Right? Because I like to speak about intention versus impact. Right. So I may say something and I may intend on one thing, but how you're impacted by what I said may be different.
Yes.
And the way that you're impacted by what I said could change the course of this relationship. Everything. It could make it real bad, or it could make it really good. Right? Yeah. So I think what you're saying is when you're leading, no matter what your intention is, the impact of it, check on the impact.
Yes. And don't be afraid to pull it back and say, wait a minute, I didn't mean it like that.
Oh, good.
I receive how you took it.
Come on now.
That was not my intention.
Come on.
I apologize. Let me say that to you differently. And so when you're a leader and you just think that the words that are coming out your mouth that are coming out perfectly and someone should receive them perfectly, you're not being a good leader.
Oh, that's so good.
And that's the reason why some coaches don't work well on some teams and some coaches do well on other teams.
Well, that's selfish.
Right.
It's all about self.
Right. It's selfish to believe that whatever you say works.
Yeah, but that's not a leader, right?
Right.
Being selfish is about you with no concern for others. That is a selfish act. That's why when people say the words, even in self-care, they go, oh, it's good to be selfish. It's good. No, selfish is not a good thing. Selfish, because the definition defines selfish, has more to do with you, taking care of yourself, but with no regard for others around you. Right. And that does not make a good leader.
Right. And an example to really bring that home is, what if I'm speaking in Spanish and my partner doesn't know Spanish?
Oh.
I can be as eloquent as I want in Spanish, but if my partner doesn't know Spanish, then it doesn't matter. And so, and when I say that, I'm not being literal. I'm being figurative. I'm saying to people like, well, I wouldn't talk in Spanish. No, what I'm saying is the words that are coming out of your mouth are not understood in the manner that you think they should be understood.
Got it.
And so now instead of attacking, now you say, okay, how can I say that differently? Or what mistake did I make? You learn so much when you're having a conversation with your partner to say, wait a minute, how can I have said that differently in a way that you can receive it? And now you're learning how to communicate. You're learning what wavelength your partner's on and how to get on the same page and all those types of things. Wait. And then the leadership of that kind, I really coach men through strategy of communication.
Okay.
Like it's going left. Wait, bring it back, brother. You're in control. Bring it back. Hold on. Everybody relax. Okay. Back it up. I apologize. Hold on. Wait a minute. Okay, you talk. And I'm going to listen. Then you let them talk. And they talk and they talk and they talk. Wait a minute, that hurt. Can you rephrase that?
Oh, that's good.
Okay, I'm gonna talk now. And you talk. Wait, please don't interrupt me.
That's good.
I didn't interrupt you. Okay, you go. Like manage and lead the conversation and make sure the conversation don't go left. Right? If you're a man and you're leading the conversation and you cuss at your woman and she cuss back, you're not being good leadership. One of my rules, I've been married 18 years. I do not cuss at my wife. Never.
That's good.
I don't do it. Even when she is cussed, I do not cuss back.
Okay, that's your commitment.
That's my commitment.
That's your commitment.
Because I can't allow my leadership to be derailed. You know, I can't be in question on who I am. So if I did something and she didn't like it and she went back at me some kind of way and she came out, her Houston came out, I never respond to that.
Ooh.
Never, because I have to stay above that.
Well, because
to maintain my leadership role.
That's so, because your commitment to lead, it always goes back, like you said, principle and commitment, right? And once you're grounded in your principle and you're grounded in your commitment, can't nobody else shake you from that when you're committed to it, because it's a decision. Because it would be a decision for you to just go back and forth or to yell and scream. But the decision that you're making is to stay true to your commitment and to your principle.
I'm committed. I am the leader.
Ooh.
So the moment that I cuss at her or she cuss at me and I cuss back, I'm no longer a leader.
Wow.
We just two people cussing each other out now. So you have to be, as a man, you got to be able to decide, what does leadership look like? Like, we're talking about leadership, right? Like, what does it look like to you?
Yeah.
If you see two people arguing, can you identify the leader?
No.
No, it's just two people arguing.
Yeah.
You can't say, well, that person looks like the leader because they're taller.
That's right.
That person must be the leader because they're the man.
That's right.
You know, like, that's not true.
You know, Jay-Z said this quote some time ago. He said, when you look and you see two people arguing and you assume that one of them is a fool, they don't look like, when you describe it or, you know, how you're processing, you don't think, oh, there's one fool and one smart person arguing. No, when you see them going back and forth, even if you know one's a fool, your assumption is there's two fools arguing. Two fools are.
Look at these fools. It's a plural word. Look at these fools arguing.
Yeah.
And so
how can you tell the difference?
Right.
That's right.
So for men in marriage, again, my principle is all marriages are either successful or they fail based on the leadership of the man. And I get men that say, no, bro, that's too big. I can't take leadership. I can't be responsible for everything. Tell your woman she's responsible that week.
Okay.
Do you really want to do that? Do you really want to turn to the woman and say, hey, wife, hey, this week I'm going to do everything that you want me to do, or I'm going to do everything that you say, or I'm going to let you have the last word, or I'm going to let you compromise, sacrifice first, things like that. Like, and really, when I talk about leadership and I explain it to men in terms of why it's so important, right? Is that when you learn how to lead a woman, then you will speak directly to her spirit. Directly. Once you're really exhibiting leadership, you speak directly to what her natural, innate spirit of wanting to follow. Because Eve was created for Adam. But if you out of line, Adam, then she ain't gonna be Eve.
That's right. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's so good.
Why do men think that?
That's so good.
like I'm not gonna be Adam, but she gotta be Eve.
Oh, that's so good. That's good. That's so good.
And so you have to, as a man, maintain your respect of leadership at all times. I even give an example of, I remember one time President Obama was in session, and someone stood up and said, "You're lying." You remember that?
I don't remember.
It was a big thing. He just stood up while he was in session with Congress, and some senator jumped up and said, "You're lying." And Obama didn't. Come on down here then. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't do that. He said, calm down. He's not going to go directly back at that person. He's not about to debate. He's above that.
Yes.
He's the president.
Yes.
If you argue with him, you're not the president.
That's right. He knows who he is.
Right. So you ain't got to argue with him.
Ooh,
I hate people who hate is strong. Maybe you'll give me a better word.
Okay.
But I hate people who
you
are
strongly
in the power.
You strongly dislike.
I strongly dislike.
You are opposed to. You are strongly
I'm opposed. I'm strongly opposed to those who are in leadership who act like they're not in leadership. Like, you don't have to exhibit your leadership in that way. You know, because President Obama could have said, "Hey, remove him," and that's done. You know what I mean, or things like that. So what we're going to do is exhibit that. Hey, I'm going, as a leader. One of the first things you're doing is learning how to compromise first. Sometimes my followers are not ready to hear me. They need to express first. So I don't have to talk first all the time. Sometimes I'm listening now. I'm learning now. Okay, what's going on? Right? Good leaders will try to listen before speaking. Good leaders will try to listen and learn before acting, right? Because you can't just act and you don't really know what's going on. You don't know what happened. You know, the kid come in, they didn't fell down. You don't know if their knee hurt or if their ankle hurt. You gotta let them tell you first.
Yeah.
So when the wife comes in, she upset. You gotta just give it a minute and just let her express. And she going crazy. Yeah, okay, babe, I get it. I understand. Okay, I'm sorry you feel like that. Like, this is what we're gonna do differently. This is what we're gonna do better.
Hey, family, just stop by here for a couple of seconds. Have something for you. This right here is a go-to guide. The name of it is 6 Pillars to Power Up Your Mind and to Make Mental Health a Lifestyle. This teaches you everything that you need to know to keep your mind healthy and strong. So come on now, if you want to keep your minds healthy and strong, as you have joined this, a part of our movement, you've joined this mission, you got to know how to do it. So this is your go-to guide. Going to get this at awisebrown.com. In addition to that, what you'll learn in this book is there are other ways to keep your mind healthy and strong, nice and alert. And that would be aromatherapy. Family, I'm trying to tell you something. This is delicious. Oh my goodness. This is a cruelty-free candle with no paraffins, no formaldehyde, and no known suspected carcinogenics. And the name of it is A Slice of Happiness, because when you smell it, it raises the endorphins in your brain. I'm just telling you. And the dopamine, it makes you feel good. You get a burst of happiness. You can burn it, or you can just walk by and smell it. You can find this too at awisebrown.com. People are loving it. Please get it before it sells out. A Slice of Happiness. And then family, because I know you're a part of me. I'm a part of you. We're doing this together. We got hoodies now, family. All of us. We got hoodies. Wise by Andrea. You know, it's kind of like on that candle. But y'all, let me show you what the bag says. Mental health is a lifestyle. Andrea Wise Brown. And it's a zip-up hoodie. So you can zip it down, zip it up. I can't really zip it down today because it's all I have on. And then I have it in white too. You can buy it in white too. Wise by Andrea. It's the cutest thing. Mental health is a lifestyle. Come on, family, we have hoodies. So I want you to go and get your hoodie that feels so comfortable. I just love to wear them everywhere. Get your aromatherapy and then get your go-to guide. You're going to go to awisebrown.com. Click on shop. awisebrown.com shop to get your goodies. Okay, see you on the other side. Can I ask you a question? I love this. Okay, so what about women and men? Y'all are in this relationships, and you're saying that men should lead. And I guess I feel this conflict with when you said that some of the men are saying, I don't want that role. So now they're in the relationship already. The women in their lives are expecting them to lead, but yet and still they're saying that they don't want that role. What does that look like?
It doesn't
Doesn't work. It looks like a mess.
It looks like a mess.
It looks like a mess.
And so for the men who are making a mental decision to say, I don't want to lead or I don't want that role, this is how God created us. And so it will always be a mess. It will never be in alignment, right? And so leadership, again, is something that we can do. It is really something, the role of a leader is a humble role.
Okay, come on.
Right? Be humble in your leadership.
Let me ask you this, right? This is good. I'm glad you're breaking it down because I'm just wondering, somebody else might think, right? That does that mean that I need to control my woman?
No.
Or control my girl or control my wife? Like, does that, as I lead, I say what to do, how we going to do, when we going to do. Like, does that mean that? Does leadership mean that? When you just said humble, that's what made me think of that.
Yes, humble. Like, and I love that question because first of all, when we're leaders, we are in leadership for a reason. We are in leadership for the betterment of the organization, of the unit. And so sometimes great leaders are probably most of the time sacrifice first. That's how you exhibit leadership, is you sacrifice first. So, wife, you need something. You're bringing it to me. We're having a difficulty. I'm going to say, can I do what she's asking me to do? Right? If I can do it, then I do it. Don't just debate it. Can I do it? Right? So I do it, and I don't ask for anything in return. I do what she needs. Can I do it? It doesn't. And whatever she needs, it doesn't make me feel less of a man. I don't lose ego. I don't feel like she's punking me. It is something reasonable. Like wife is saying, hey, talk to me with tenderness. Can I do it? Okay. Now, man, stop angry, man. Stop doing all. Talk to your woman like she's your woman instead of talking to her like she's a dude, right? Gather yourself, calm down, sacrifice first. Hey, babe, how can I talk to you better? What can I do differently? Tell me the types of words you want me to use. Women, sometimes we have to. Can I talk to them differently?
We're not really talking to women.
Okay, don't talk to them.
Because women not really here.
They're not
but
here.
go ahead, talk,
I love
man.
it when they're
You
in
a
the
man.
room.
They're in the room. Go ahead.
I love talking
Just
to
give them
men.
this real quick. Yes, right.
I love talking to men when women are in the room.
Okay.
So the women know how to relate to the man and what's going on.
Okay, so go ahead, give it to them if you got something.
Right, to the women is just simply the men sometimes don't have the right words.
Yes.
Like even some of my words here, you're gonna correct me based on just being a woman.
I've never corrected you.
Well, you might use some big words or something.
You correct me. You've been corrected.
And so it's just sometimes we don't Okay. Sometimes we don't know the exact word, or we're not as deep with the emotions.
That's right.
So tell us the words to use. Tell us how you feel and what that feeling means to you. Tell us how I'm missing that feeling. Why is it important? A lot of times women spend more time and thought about how they feel. And so give that to us. And so now we know, okay, when I say this like this is how you receive it. Okay, now I just need to understand that. Don't say, don't take it like that. That ain't getting you nowhere.
That is not good at all.
Right.
Because what that does is put the other person in defense.
Yes.
Right? And
something
so now, that's right. And now the whole conversation is going to the left. But this is the right. Going to the left. Yeah.
Right. And so we have to be in those conversations.
Yeah.
And then really with what I say to women too, when you're a man, when you're a good leader and you speak to their spirit, they're naturally, because they're Eve with Adam, they're naturally submissive. So I've done years of work on submission in women, right? And the women that's in the room that's trying to talk now, that's being quiet. Be quiet. Sure, tell them again.
Y'all be quiet. Y'all keep your mouth closed.
Yeah.
You in this room, act like you're not in here. You keep it closed.
You just listen.
You learning.
Right. And so when I talk to women, I was in Harlem one time, and I was this women's conference, and I told all the women in the room, y'all are going to all be submissive. And they went crazy. No, we not. What's wrong with him? Boo, they're trying to get the same man to come out like, we're not at the Apollo. I'm staying here, And the point was, is that you get to choose the man you get to be submissive to.
Oh, come on now.
You've chosen him. We're not saying be submissive to some random cat. You chose him, right? And so now you can get to be submissive. And what happens when you have this relationship is the man now that you've chosen a man who's going to choose you first. So now in all of my decisions, my first thought is, what does my wife need?
So here, pause. And that was so good. That to me sounds like a healthy exchange with two different people who want to be in this healthy exchange or want to be in this relationship, right? There's two people. Because I will speak to you and the men here as a woman. And I am an educated woman. I am I'm resilient. I am strong. I am a go-getter. I believe that I create all things in my life. I'm a hard worker, right? So I'm a woman I'm just saying, I'm not I wouldn't be described as a mousy woman, someone who's quiet and kind of sits back to the side. That ain't me. I'm going to go after whatever it is that I desire. But I know that I also will submit, and I have submitted to my husband. And the reason why is because I trust his leadership. When women can trust your leadership, they will allow you to lead.
Yes.
I'm telling you, it's when they can trust you. Now, when you start going sideways, you got what I'm saying with your decision making and with your actions. When your actions are out of alignment with, as a leader, as you were saying, that right there breaks the trust in your leadership, and it's going to break the amount of, your partner or woman wanting to submit. Because why am I going to submit to someone who's foolish? Where are you going to lead me? I can't trust where you're going to lead me. So that's why I'm watching all of the decisions that you make. Even down to the smallest decision. Right. I am watching the decisions that you make. You got what I'm saying? So women will submit. As strong-minded as women are, women want men to lead. We want you to. We tired. Women are tired out here, leading these families, taking care of the children. We talked about these fatherless households. Yes. Women are yearning for men to lead. And men, you can lead. You just have to get out of your own way. Yep. Don't you believe that you can't lead? You can lead. But you have to be cognizant, be aware, be astute of your decisions, the decisions that you make. And we continue to talk about a lot of this, the decisions that you make for short-term gratification, right, for the short-term high, right? So that's collecting the women, right? Being disloyal, betraying the women in your life that you love. When you do all of those things, with the obsession with porn, when you do disrespectful things that don't feed your soul, they feed your ego and they feed your pride, but they don't feed your soul. That's why the thrill doesn't last that long. That's why you gotta go get another one. And you gotta go get another one. You gotta go get another one, right? And so even
now you need a pill.
Right.
And you need a pill now.
Now you need a pill.
You said you got 3 of them, they need a pill by then.
You need a pill.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. But this is real talk, right? But going back to, I'm telling you, men, women we want you to lead. We yearn it. We do. Women do. I don't care how loud mouth, how, I want to be this, how much you think that they want to be the leader. They really, women have had to step up in those roles because men have been absent. Yes. So not only have they left the home, I told you the statistics in the beginning, but even when they're in the home, as you would say, they told you, I don't want to do that. Right. I ain't doing that. Too much pressure. Well, it's because you were taught in childhood that you couldn't handle it. And that's where I come in. I'm telling you, when you grew up in your household, there was no one there. If you didn't have a father as an example who felt like he was a good leader and didn't teach you how to be a good leader, how would you know how? Mothers usually coddle their boys and raise their girls, so they don't teach you how to be a leader, and they're not a man. So they can't speak to your spirit in the way that a man could. So I could understand how men grow up and get in these relationships, checking boxes, right, and not know how to lead. Right. But that's what we're here for, right? We're here to teach you, and I'm here to tell you, we are both here to tell you that you can lead. Yes. And women are waiting for you to step in that role.
You bring it full circle, because really my response to men that don't want to lead is saying that women don't want to really be submissive. Let me.
Oh, come on.
You know what I mean by that? Like to the men that the struggle.
To those men.
To the struggle. It's work for both of us. Mm-hmm. There's work to be done on both sides, is what I'm trying to say. So the man who's doing the work to lead, the woman has to do the work to be submissive.
Absolutely.
And so that's how it balances it out, right? Absolutely. It balances itself out. Yes. So if you lead correctly, she will follow correctly. Ooh. But you have to lead first. And there's too many men that want the woman to follow first. You got to lead first.
Yes.
And then she follows.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. And leadership doesn't just look like having a whole lot of money, right? And paying all the bills in the household. For some people, for some men, they feel like that, right? That's a part of their leadership, because that might be a principle for them, that might be a value for them, and that might be a commitment for them. Then that works for them. But that's not exactly what women are looking for. They're not looking for you to come in and tell them what to do just because you pay bills. And then you do everything that you want to do with all of those maladaptive coping skills that we're talking about. The collecting women, or the, overbuying or overspending or overporning or oversexing, all those things that we kind of talk about, which are exits or maladaptive behaviors that give you instant gratification. I always repeat so that you get it. But it's like when you're doing all of those things, that is what that's what gets in the way, pretty much, of a woman trusting your leadership. It's not the fact that you can't pay all the bills in the house. That ain't it. Because you ain't got to pay all the bills in the house to be respected and for a woman to follow. Come on now.
She'll give you all her money.
Lord have mercy.
One of the things I tell women I think you'll like is that how does it go? It goes, there are no independent women. There are women that can't depend on a man.
Oh.
Don't no woman want to be independent. They've had a father they couldn't depend on.
That's right.
They had a boyfriend they couldn't depend on.
That's right.
They had a husband they can't depend on.
That's right.
So now, because there's no man that's dependable, now she's become independent.
Absolutely.
And that woman is strong and powerful and smart, intelligent.
Yes.
She can do everything because the man she presents in all of these areas of need. But as soon as a man says, "Hey, I got that,"
come on,
relax,
Lord
woman.
have mercy. Hallelujah.
Relax.
Hallelujah.
A wife's favorite line is, "My husband gonna handle that." They love just, "My husband gonna handle that." They love saying that. And it reminds me of one time I was dating a woman, and she was an older woman, but I was single. I was young. I was probably like 20s, and she was in her 30s. But I dated old women my whole life. And I came into her house. First time I was at her house, and I saw a window or something that was broken, like it was some screws out of the little latch. And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna fix that." And she was like, "I don't need you coming in here feeling like that. Like, I don't need no man coming in here feeling like I need a man. I gotta have a man to fix stuff. I got a handyman, blah, blah, blah." And I let her say all of that. And I simply said to that woman, I said, "Woman, I'm gonna fix the window." That's all I said. Whatever, woman, I'm gonna fix the window. We ain't had that problem again. I don't allow women to make my man be smaller.
Your man, okay.
My manhood is my manhood.
That's good.
And so her not respecting or understanding, it was new. We was meeting each other. She don't trust me yet. She don't know me yet. She don't know the type of man that I am yet. And so I had to exhibit to her, right? And I said earlier, I just said, I have to exhibit leadership first.
That's right.
Right? So, but if I let her go off and say she don't need no man, and then I go, "Well, why you acting like that?" But no, I don't do all that. I don't argue like that. I don't go back and forth, right? I don't do that.
Yes.
I just exhibit my leadership.
Come on now.
Woman, I'm going to fix the window. And then she like, "Oh, okay. You going to fix the window?" "Yeah. I'm going to fix it right now. It's going to be fine."
Absolutely.
And I don't expect anything in return. It doesn't mean something that I fix the window. I'm just going to be a man everywhere I go.
Yes.
And I'm not going to allow anyone or anything to belittle or make me be smaller than what I am. I am man everywhere I go. We need our men.
Yes.
That's why she's reading the statistics every time we do a podcast. We need our fathers.
Yes.
We need our husbands. We need our brothers. We need men to fully embrace the leadership role in the community.
Yes.
Right? When I'm driving by and I see a little kid walking around with their pants hanging off their butt, it takes everything in me not to grab somebody else's kid and just whoop this 18-year-old man, basically. Because he just hasn't been taught. He hasn't been taught. It's not his fault.
That's right.
He hasn't been taught. He hasn't been trained.
Well, look,
he doesn't have a man in his life.
That's what I was going to say, because he's been taught, but from who and by who?
Right.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a man in his life. And so we need our men to really just stop being boys.
Oh.
Just be a man.
Yes. That's
like
so
really just
true.
Sit back.
It's
Evaluate
so
yourself.
It's so true.
Are you being a man? Are you being a leader? Are you being respectful?
That's right.
Are you being kind? Do you understand your flock?
Yes.
Are you sacrificing first?
Yes.
Right? Again, for men, to be a leader, you sacrifice first.
Oh, that's so good.
Right? You compromise first.
Yes, Lord.
Right? You take responsibility for the messages received. She's not getting it. She don't understand. Don't just start yelling. Men, get that bass out your tone when you're talking to your woman. Don't talk to your woman like this. One of the things I learned when I'm talking with my woman, I don't talk to her while I'm standing. I do not talk to my wife. We have something to debate. I sit down. Because when I'm standing, I project. I speak a lot. I have to know myself. I have to know how she receives it. So when I stand, I project. I'm not just talking to her. I'm talking to everybody in the room. Everybody in here need to understand. And so I sit down.
Oh, that's good.
When I'm talking with her, because that woman, she from Houston, like I said.
Okay.
And if she even sensed that I'm trying to go somewhere, she with it. She want all the smoke. So I sit down and I still talk. I still lead, right?
Yourself.
I posture myself and sit down. So when I'm leading,
come on now,
she can receive it. Because she senses I'm trying to tell her what to do. She's immediately going to reject it. She don't want to be told what to do.
That's right.
Right? She needs to know that when in my leadership, I'm considering both of our needs. Every decision I make has to be a consideration of both of our needs. Example.
Thinking past this moment.
Thinking past this moment. It's bigger than that.
That's right.
It's bigger than that. Example would be like daughter. My daughter comes in. She's getting married. I got to pay for it, right? I tell my daughter, hey, I got $10,000 spent on the wedding. Okay. Wife comes in. No, we need to spend $20,000. Man can decide to spend $15,000. Right? Just decide. Like, don't be unreasonable. And that's just a simple example that's not going to always work all the time. But you understand the concept, the theory of being compromised. Don't know. Now we're going to 5,000. Right? Show your wife you're compromising. Hey, babe, I really wanted to do 10. You want to do 20. Let's meet in the middle at 15. Right? Or another example around the house. I wash dishes Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I come in like, hey, honey, I'm going to wash them Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You wash them Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Right? It's even. As a man, I don't need to come in. Leadership is not saying, woman, you're going to wash dishes every day. That's not leadership. That's you telling her what to do. That's you making it seem like you the boss and she's your subordinate. She's not your partner. She's not the church and I'm God, right? God so loved the church. Adam and Eve, partnership, right? We working together. So when you're in leadership, you're exhibiting the partnership. You're stating up front the partnership. So we're going to work. I'm going to do dishes these days. I'm going to do cooking these days. You do it these days.
So let me ask you a question. So is your wife or the woman out here in these relationships, she came to you and she said, you know, baby lump or whatever it is, right? And she said, this is what I was thinking. I'm going to do the dishes always. The dishes will be my thing. But what I need you to do is I'm going to need you to cut that grass and make sure that you take the garbage out. So if she was the one that came up with the plan, what does leadership look like then from a man?
And well, one of the great things, a great question. One of the great things about being a leader is learning when you're not suitable for that leadership.
Oh, that's good.
Let's actually change the example to money.
Okay.
Right? Because some men believe that they should be in control of the money. Right? But sometimes great leaders are knowing that I need to give money to this to my wife is better at money.
Oh, that's so good. That's
just
good.
Accept it.
Making an assessing. So that's what a good leader does.
That's
right?
what a good leader does.
He assesses what's on the board.
Yes.
Right? Where we need to go, all my players,
what am I good at?
And what the plan is.
Yes.
Oh, that's so good. And delegates as such.
Again, and leadership is delegation. Right? The president don't really do a lot. Like they bring bills to the president. The president got somebody that's going to review the bills. It's going to go to Congress, going to go to the Senate, vice president, whatever. And then president really signs and approves as the leader, as the responsible party. Right? But the president don't make all the decisions.
That's right. That's good.
Right? Not all of them.
That's right.
That's right. And so like, or on a football team, you got an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator. Coaches oftentimes go to the offensive coordinator and say, what play you want to call? You know, you want to go for the touchdown here on 4th and 1, or you want to kick the field goal, right? And so leadership is knowing, too, that you don't have all the answers.
Ooh, that's so
you cannot be great.
That's good.
It's impossible to be great
right.
if you think you know all the answers. You don't know all the answers. You don't. You just don't. And your partner,
yes,
oftentimes your better half.
Come on now.
Quite honestly, may know more of the answers than you do.
That's right.
But she might be good at letting you think you know all the answers.
That's the woman show.
She just put it out there.
That's the woman show. We can talk about that. The women, we can talk about that. You just come on.
And so you gotta know what you're good at, what you're not good at,
and be okay with it. That's the thing. You don't, no shame, no, not trying to remove it, not letting ego and pride, those two bullies, stand up in front of you and try to make this no, be honest, be open. Yeah, so baby, I'm not really good at that. Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna do this. Or yeah, that's a good plan. Or why not? Because leadership could look like that too. And that's what I wanted you to say. I'm glad you said that. Yes.
Leadership comes in many different forms.
Come on now.
And you adjust it as you go. But the end result is you have compromised. Right? So the men who say, I don't want to lead.
Okay.
First, think in terms of how to set forth the compromise.
Okay, so when you say compromise, because this is a word that comes up, and some psychological schools of thought in regards to relationship speaks to compromise not being the healthiest thing to do. Because, and I'll describe why. Compromise, for a relationship, when you are compromising who you are,
right,
is unhealthy. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we talking about stuff, as we would say, on the outside,
right,
the little things, compromising, like you said, the dishes, or,
right,
but when you're compromising who you are at your core, you know what I'm saying? When we talk about, what is it? Your spirit, right? The real you, your heart. When you compromise in that's not healthy compromise. That's not healthy compromise. But compromising what day of the week we need to go to dinner. Compromising where we need to go on vacation this year versus next year. Feel me? Compromise with, who needs to handle this thing this month, and then who needs to handle, like, that is the healthy compromise. Yeah. But not when you compromising who you are, who God created you to be. That's unhealthy compromise. So I need to just say that.
That's a great point. I mean, like, I had a couple where a young couple got married, and the husband really came in with the expectation that the wife was going to cook every day. Mm-hmm. So they're fighting about cooking every day and all that kind of stuff. And finally, the wife caves in and says, "Fine, I'll cook every day." To which she's running home from work and stressed out now, and it actually made the marriage worse.
That's right.
Because she was cooking every day, but she was unhappy.
That's right. That's good.
And she didn't know herself enough to know that I cannot do that. Mm-hmm. I'm not Betty Crocker.
That's right.
I'm just giving in. Mm-hmm. I didn't compromise. I gave in. Mm-hmm. It's unhealthy. It made the marriage work. And she later had to come back and pull that back and say, "Hey, I cannot cook every day. Mm-hmm. This is what I can do."
That's right.
Is that agreeable?
That's good.
That's how you approach a compromise.
That's right.
Whenever a person has an expectation that is, and a lot of men have that expectation, that in 2023, that woman can still come home and cook every day.
Do they really?
I saw that. I saw my mother cook. Yes, men still think that. Oh, okay. They're crazy. They're wrong. But I saw my mother do it. I saw my mother every day when I was young. I learned this. Mm-hmm. I would see my mother and father, my stepfather. Both would go to work. Mm-hmm. Both would come home. Father sit on the couch. Mother bring him a beer. Mother go get in the kitchen cooking.
Wow.
And I always looked at her like, why Dad don't cook? Like, why he chilling? They both work. Like, not like he was, running in circles and tired. Right. They both sat behind the desk. Why can't he switch or whatever they doing and all that? Like, and it boggled my mind. I was like, man, when I get married, I'll make sure my wife is happy. Right? And so that comes along with compromise. So sometimes, man, you can't just say, "Hey, you need to cook every day." Mm-hmm. You need to say, "What do you think you can do? What is fair? What is reasonable?
That's leadership.
What's not going to stress you out?"
That's leadership.
Leadership is arriving at the best solution for the team, company, organization, right? And that's what they do in teams and companies and units and organizations. That's right. They don't just come out. Apple not going to just come out and say, "We're going to charge all the new iPhones is $2,000. That don't work for everybody.
That's right.
Marketing can't market a $2,000 phone. Everybody not going to buy a $2,000. It's going to hurt for this year's sales. And so you can't do that. You can't come out on a team, your football team, every time it's fourth down, we going for it. I don't care where we at. That doesn't work.
That's right.
You've got to use the information and the knowledge available to you in your team, in your organization, in your marriage.
Come on.
And now make the best decision for the team.
Yes.
So leadership is doing what's best for the team.
Yes.
Leadership is not about you, my brother.
Yes.
It's not about you.
Oh, yes, just about you.
Yeah, just about you.
That's right.
Leadership is not what I want to do.
It's not selfish.
Right, it's not selfish.
That's right, with no concern for others. Taking care of me with that's not leadership. That's being alone.
Yes.
That's being alone. That's being single. That's right. That's right.
Leadership is not
that's so
about
good.
You.
Yes.
That's why leadership is oftentimes nominated, elected, chosen, selected, whatever.
Yes.
You don't get to really come in and announce that you're the leader. You can't walk in no room and say, "I am the leader." Hear me roar or whatever. You know what I mean? You can't do it. Leadership is not about you.
That's so good.
Leadership is about the team, the organization, the marriage.
The goal.
What are we going?
That's
the
right.
dream, whatever.
That's
We're
right.
going to build together.
Yes.
So you got to use your partnership. Use your skill set of compromising, of sacrifice. Use your understanding of placing them first.
Yes.
So they trust your leadership. Right? So as the problem presents itself, first leaders understand the problem. Second leader, understand how your partner would like the problem solved. And then third, now know how would you like the problem solved. You know, so we going from 1 to 10, right? Wife is at 10, I'm at 1. You know wife is at 10, you know you at 1. Now 5 is the compromise. Leader, help us get to 5. That's all you doing, my brother. Help us get to 5, right?
Without making yourself, leader, feel like you're losing something at your core, and without having your partner making her feel like she's losing something at her core. So that's the thing about a leader, right? You strategize because it's for the goal of the team. It is not selfish. So yes, as a leader, that's how I'm thinking. I'm trying to process, and you don't have to just know this. You ain't just come out your mama's hoo-ha, just knowing how to get to 5 when you at a 10 and your wife is at a 1, or you at a 10 and your partner's at a 1. It's like, no, this is work. It takes some work. And anything worth having takes work. You walk in a gym, you throw up weights, you put them down and walk right out, you ain't building no muscle. You got to be committed, and you go in consistently. You have a goal and you do the work. And once you consistently do the work, the muscles will build. Got me? It's challenging. Not hard, but challenging. And so it's a commitment that you have to make as a leader, but it's work. It's step by step. You don't have to know it all right away. And men, you are leaders. You want to know why? Because God created you that way. So you may want to duck out. You may want to say, you're a leader.
You have to be.
You're a leader.
That's how you were created.
But let me tell you this, though, because I know we are ending now, but I just would like to say this, because men do have a choice. Okay? So there's some men out here who say, they might say, Stephen or Andrea, I don't want to be a leader. Yeah, I don't want to be God created me a leader. And being in this relationship and trying to lead, that don't feed my soul. That's just not who I am. So would you say, because I know what I would say, as a man, right? What would you say?
You go first.
Okay, I'll go first. Because what I would say is, well, okay, that's probably not the team that you need to be working with.
New team.
That's probably not the team that you need to be working with. Or maybe you realize that you're just not a team player. Yeah. Some people are just not a team. Some people just want to spectate.
Right.
They just want to come and sit on the sideline. They just want to cheer. They may want to go do some people don't even want to be in the game. And that's okay too. But I think you knowing yourself, that whole self-love and self-acceptance is what's going to bring you to actually knowing whether you want to be a leader, a team leader, whether you want to be in a relationship and lead the team, or whether you just decide, I don't want to do that. And that's good, as long as you know, right? That's where that comes from. Self-love and acceptance. I want to go do something else. And that's okay too. You just want to lead your own life. And that's fine, because you can still make healthy decisions being a leader of your own life. But that is not a partnership.
It's a really good point. Really, really good point, because when you're in a team, man, the team sacrifice for the betterment of the team, right? So the quarterback is throwing the ball, but he can hit a lot. The receiver is catching the ball, but he run a lot. The running back is running, but he blocks sometimes. And so I compare that to in marriage, sometimes we do things that we don't want to do. The running back don't want to block. The receiver don't want to run and not catch a ball every time he run. The receiver don't want to run 50 yards downfield and not catch the ball. He don't want to do that. That's a part of the team, right? The CEO of the company, he don't want to stay up all night looking at numbers, negotiating, going against the board and all that. He don't want to answer questions to the stockholders, but he's a team player. So in marriage, You have to decide if you want to be in this partnership, or you have to do some things that you do not want to do.
Yes.
But you have to understand that your partner also does things
that they do not want to do, but they do it for the team.
For the team. So if you're not a team player, just raise up out of here, man. If you don't want to be a team player, just be out. Just smash your laptop, unsubscribe. We don't need non-team players. Hey, man, be out and don't blame nobody else.
Don't blame nobody else for your mess.
Say, I'm selfish. I'm not a team player.
Come on now.
Maybe next year, maybe 5 years from now, but right now I'm doing me.
That's right.
Ain't nobody mad at nobody that won't do themselves.
That's right.
Don't put your partner through that. Because they're here to be a partner.
Come on now.
They're here to be a team.
Come on
They're here to win the Super Bowl.
Come on now.
The Super Bowl is not played by itself. It's played in teams.
That's right.
You a dude trying to win the Super Bowl? You can't win you need a partner. And so know what you're competing in.
Ooh, that's so
know
good.
where you're trying to go.
Mm-hmm.
And so you don't want it. You don't want this team where you have to sacrifice and compromise and sometimes put them first.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what? We can't agree. We're just going to do what you want to do this time.
Mm-hmm.
The next time we'll do what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's teamwork. It's partnership. That's sacrifice. Mm-hmm. You don't want to do none of that stuff? Just know you don't want to do it.
That's right.
Just accept it, embrace it, and beat your feet.
That's right. That's so good. That's so good. That's so good because like you say, we ain't talking to women, but I'm just telling y'all men, you just sit back sometimes and if you sit down and just see if you could write down in that same little notepad, how many times you think your partner sacrifices and you don't say nothing about it. Little things, big things. How many? Because a lot of times what I've learned about men is you think about, we talked about this, me. How this is, it's always through my lens of, oh, you did that. Oh, well, you did that. Or you just did this because, defenses come up, ego and pride, and you project your pain onto someone else because you don't want to feel it. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying to you is, even thinking about not being a team or giving up, how many times does your partner sacrifice for you? I really have realized that not too many men actually sit down and think about that.
Right.
When they're angry, when they kind of stuck in resentment, you're not thinking about the other side.
Right.
And so that's a part of teamwork, is recognizing how your running back could be hurting or how this one could, when it's time to switch them out or what, what I'm saying, when they have needs, to recognize that this is a team and everybody on the board, needs to be important. That needs to feel important, needs to be seen, needs to be validated. Yeah. And just looking at the reality of that. And that is what comes back to a team leader. Okay.
It's a great point to close with.
Yes.
And really the point you made earlier about if you're struggling in your marriage right now, in your relationship, whatever, just take a moment and make sure you understand their side of the story. Just stop trying to figure out how to say your side again. Just take you out of it for a minute.
Ooh, that's good.
What is your partner saying? What do they need? Make sure you fully understand what's going on with them. Just take yourself out of the equation. Just really focus in. Why are they unhappy? Not that I agree with them, but let's just make sure I understand them.
So good.
Like, do I understand them? What do they need? What are they? What's going on? Like, why are they unhappy? What are they saying? What did she say to me? She said this and that. Just really focus on them, understand them, and then if you know yourself, or you may have to go understand yourself.
Yes, you do have to go understand yourself.
You may need to go and figure that out.
Yes.
You might think you're somebody that you're not.
Yes.
Might think you exhibiting leadership when really what you're doing is exhibiting a dictatorship.
Yes. Oh, that's
right.
Good. Yes.
And so now go figure out if you're leading or not. And then just as simple, like, she's over here, she's at 10, you over here, you at 1. Rather get us to 5. How you do?
It's good. Okay. I think that's good.
I don't have good organ signs.
Okay. Well,
not piano.
Organ.
Organ.
Because the organ is stronger?
Yeah.
Is that it? Masculine?
Yeah. We can't. Our organ
not
signs is horrible. No, we not.
Well, guys, we are now at the end of another episode of the Mental Health is a Lifestyle podcast by your girl, Andrea Wise Brown, with my brother, Stephen
James Dixon.
He said I gotta say all
Got
three
all
names.
three of them. Somebody told me that one time. I don't know why. I was like, okay, I'll do it.
No, it's good. It's good. It's good. And yeah, this is our series. And today it was I'm hungry